Medical disclaimer. This video is for informational purposes. It does not replace the medical advice of a trained doctor. Seek medical advice before beginning any treatment plan. Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes Club. Okay. Not the greatest. I've taken correction. We'll see. Hopefully that brings me down. Now, what I want to discuss today is control. You know, so often we say, oh, well, I'm going to do tight control and I'm going to do everything right and it's just going to be so awesome and it's going to be so perfect. Oops, I used the P word again. But what's going to happen when you do stuff and it's not working out? I've done exactly what the doctor tells me. It's when a variable is going to play a part in your blood sugar. And the variables could be not counting your carbs right, not taking the correct amount of insulin, doing more exercise, everything. It's not kind of like, oh, well, I'll just take my medication and things will be so much better. You need to come up with a decision first. I talked about your mind and coming up with these magical, oh, well, yes, I'm going to do it. But mindset's only the tip of the iceberg. You need to go see a diabetic education specialist. I call mine a diabetic nurse. And just like anything, you've got to ask questions and you've got to learn. The problem comes from where you don't learn and you just keep doing the exact same mistakes over and over. Now, there can be other things going on. For one, there's the dawn phenomenon. This was a song years ago. But where all your hormones first thing in the morning are let loose, your blood sugar raises, and you need to have a plan to bring it down. I used to hate waking up in the morning because I would wake up with a super high blood sugar. Now, my blood sugar seems to be later in the day. So I don't know whether my body's letting go of my hormones later. Who knows? Maybe my body fully isn't awake yet. Because my first blood sugar this morning was 8.1. A good idea before you say, I'm going to go and I'm going to just get in perfect control and everything's going to be working out all right, is go see your teams, your endocrinologist, your diabetic education person, and your dietitian. And the fourth is also your pharmacist. And ask for each one of them to review what you're doing and how well you're doing it. So often we sit there and say, oh yes, you know what? I'm doing everything right. Well, that's the way it was back in 1922. Well, I'm sorry. Things have changed a bit. There's always new techniques. I can remember when hemoglobin A1C was the newest and the hippest test out there. Oh, I'm such a look. Yeah, I guess. But now it's time and range. Where before it was just the average, now it's actual time and range that we take a look at and see how much blood sugars we need to maintain that level. I know a friend of mine who had problems with alcohol, and he went to a meeting, and the lady who got up and was speaking, saying she went out to dinner with friends, and the bartender or waiter came and delivered wine to the next table, and they sniffed the cork and had some of this wine and how awesome this would be. And she said the seed was planted for the next time she went off the wagon. Wouldn't it be great if we can plant that seed so that we can always be building our chances of better control? I think a lot of our control and the issues we have with having control is the whole thing of diabetes care for years was takeaway. Oh, you can't have that. You can't do this. It was like, what's the whole point of living? And I can remember a person saying to me, oh, isn't it going to hurt that you're never going to be able to have candy again? But we take away. And type 1 is balance. You've got to teach your son or your daughter balance and control. And once in a while, great. But the 80-20. And part of that 80-20 rule has to do with going seeing your doctor, going seeing your dietitian, your diabetic nurse, your pharmacist. I know I deal with a drugstore that does a review of all your medications and how they work with one another, and going and saying, well, you may not want to take this one with that drug. So don't just assume, well, my doctor way back told me this is what I need to do. Times change. Diabetic treatments change. Having this and allowing me to see what my blood sugars are 24 hours a day. All I have to do is press it, and they'll tell me my blood sugar. Obviously, now is not the best to take a look at, but we all win. We all learn. And there we have it. Now, I talked a bit about time and range. So, if your blood sugar goes up, it's not the end of the world. So now, we can see that my blood sugar went up. But let's take a look and see time and range. My time and range for the past 24 hours is 66. So that's not too bad. Utilize all the tech that can help you. And don't be disappointed if things aren't working out 100%. It takes time. Anyway, with that, have a super day, and we'll be back again soon. Bye.